Jazz wasn't revived in Transformers 2. We remember in the first Bayformers movie, Jazz and Ratchet were evacuating civilians right as Megatron appeared on the scene. In an effort to protect the humans, Jazz bravely faced Megatron alone, but he would be no match for the Decepticon leader. To put an end to his heroic nonsense, Megatron took the small Autobot to a rooftop. Despite Jazz's best efforts in trying to fend him off, Megatron would viciously tear him in half. After forcing Starscream to retreat, Ratchet and Ironhide hurried to Jazz where they would try to resuscitate him, but ultimately there was nothing they could do. In the aftermath of Megatron's defeat, Ironhide held Jazz's body and informed Optimus that they couldn't save him. After passing his remains to Prime, the Autobot leader eulogized him, and the movie soon after came. Actually could have been able to revive Jazz, since after observing Megatron's body, he pulled out a Allspark fragment from his chest, and this fragment could have easily been used to revive Jazz. But in the end, it never was, with it being placed under human protection at Nest. So the question is, a common misconception on why Jazz wasn't revived was due to the way he died. You see, many people believe that due to him being snapped in half, the Shard wouldn't be able to revive him. But this would be far from the truth, since the Shard is capable of reviving Transformers with severed limbs, proven by Megatron's resurrection in Revenge of the Fallen. In that film, Megatron was able to be revived by the Shard thanks to the help of scrap metal's parts, which filled in for Megatron's missing arm and leg. You see, the Shard was able to take the makeshift limbs the Constructicons created and fuse them onto Megatron, allowing him to live once more in a new body. And if you want to learn the specifics on how this revival went, problem for the Shard. But you could say due to the Energon law. Contrary to popular belief, Jazz did not die when he was split in half. He actually died several minutes later due to Energon loss. This can be proven since when Ironhide carries Jazz's body, Jazz's gun is retracted, while when he was fighting Megatron, his gun was still out. This proves that for some time after the split, Jazz time to retract his Hell's Prime that he and Ratchet couldn't save Jazz.
Prime, we couldn't save.
Jazz's death even sadder, is able to fix him in time due to him bleeding out. But circling back to the point of Energon loss being a problem for the Shard, this problem isn't a problem at all since the Shard is capable of replenishing Energon. Since it was able to replenish Jetfire's, allowing him to break out a stasis lock and transform, really proved to you guys that the Shard can create Energon. Scalpel flat out says it does. Clearly been able to revive Jazz. Another scenario people bring up to me all the time on why the Shard wouldn't be able to resurrect Jazz is because Megatron ate his spark, which in turn would make it impossible for the Shard to be able to revive him. But this scenario was a scrapped concept from an earlier draft of the script that never made it into the film due to it being too violent. And even if Jazz's spark was destroyed, the Shard would have easily been able to fix that as well, since in Revenge of the Fallen, it was able to rebuild Megatron's after it was melted away by the reason for the Shard not being able to revive Jazz. Since every scenario I proposed I was easily able to debunk, and it's not like the Autobots did not know it could be used to resurrect Jazz, since in Optimus's opening speech he tells us that the Allspark has the ability. Spark is what brought the majority of Cybertronians to life. According to Prime in Revenge of the Fallen, the Allspark contained the only recorded history of their race. But interestingly enough, he also says that history was also lost with its destruction. But we know that history wasn't actually lost, since the Shard that Sam had was able to transfer its history into his mind. And it wouldn't make sense for one Allspark Shard to have knowledge and not try to recover their recorded history from the Shard, but were unable to do so due to them not knowing how to access it off a small Spark is like a hard drive. It's very easy to extract info off of a working hard drive. But now, if you take that hard drive and smash it up, it's going to be very difficult, if not downright impossible, to recover that. This is the problem the Autobots ran into. They likely lost hope in recovering their history, and when more important duties came to the forefront, they tossed the Allspark Shard in the vault. in the hopes of trying to recover the knowledge contained within the Allspark was more vital than any one Cybertronian, and due to there only being one known fragment left, it would be used in trying to preserve and recover the history of Jazz sacrificed himself to buy time for the humans to escape. Due to his actions that day, he saved dozens of lives by giving up his own. This was the choice he made despite knowing the consequences, and he went out as a hero for it. Bringing Jazz back from the dead would be immoral since Jazz chose to go out as a hero, and it wouldn't be his choice to be resurrected, since bringing someone back from the dead to do your bidding is since in the first film he had very strong morals, until they were dragged through the mud in the later